everybody, I'm back, and yeah, we're here to talk about John Carpenter's new vinyl, or at least I got it on vinyl, Anthology. Now, I've really wanted to collect vinyls since I was in my teenage years, and I've finally begun that in recent years, and I'm also a huge fan of John Carpenter and pretty much most of the scores he puts into his movies, and this new compilation album is a recomposition of some of his most famous movie compositions that he's done over his 40-some-odd year career. So most of his movies are compiled into this vinyl, and I've got to say, as a straight-up fan, it's a real treat to get these kind of projects from Carpenter, who has definitely had more high notes than lows in his career, but his movie career has definitely fluctuated since the coming of the 21st century. You had Ghosts of Mars in 2001, yeah, nobody really likes to talk about that one. And then you have The Ward in 2009, and it just didn't feel like he had his groove anymore. So I think it was a good move by him to really retreat back into music, into one of his primary roots of his creative journey. Now, he's got a lot of creative things going on with film again that are really exciting. If you follow my channel, you know. But this serves as a cool interlude and to really get into what is driving him creatively right now. And he composed these new versions of all of his classic themes with his son and his godson. And this is just a quality album, and I'll tell you why. You know what you're getting here. You get a bunch of new material, of old material by Carpenter, but you get it with a new twist. He puts new versions and new kind of synthesizer sounds and different kind of approaches to the songs in this album. And I have to say, most of them pay off. Now, some of them, they do fall short of the original greatness of the original compositions. Like, one that comes to mind is the Escape from New York theme. It's done well here, but it doesn't feel or sound as good as the original, in all honesty. But then you have some that sound almost identical to the originals. The ones that come to mind there are Assault on Precinct 13 and The Fog, and they sound really great. And then you have some pretty decent updates of some of his classic themes. The Halloween update is pretty much the same thing, but it sounds slightly different than the original, and it sounds pretty good. I mean, if they were to put this in the new Halloween movie that's going to be coming out in a year, I'd really enjoy that. It's not, like, blowing me away. I think the original is still slightly superior, but this new version of the theme sounds really good. The one for In the Mouth of Madness is pretty decent update. I think it's a little more clear and a little more defined than it was in the original. In the movie, I think I need to revisit because, I don't know, I might be getting a newfound appreciation for it, although it has been a couple years since I watched it. But then you have a couple that he completely blows out of the water with these new versions. First of all, the first one that comes to mind is Dark Star. If you go back and you watch the trailer to Dark Star, you can hear the theme. And in this one, he gives it an update, which is funny because it's from 1974, but he updates it to maybe a late 80s kind of sound, but he puts more production behind it, and it's awesome. It's really a great composition that I don't think a lot of people are going to recognize. That just comes out fantastic by all means. That one really pops your ears, and it's a hell of a lot more enjoyable than some of the only versions we have of the original composition. And I think this is how he actually wanted it to sound. So Dark Star was awesome. I did like the Assault on Precinct 13 update. It sounds almost the same, but I don't know, it's still there, and it still has that sting of the 70s sound that I think makes the original and the original film so identifiable and so raw. I don't know, just that one also stuck out to me. The Fog was a fun one too, because it sounds almost completely identical to the 1980 version, and maybe it is, but I really enjoyed it just because there's really not much change, but he makes it have that same eerie presence and that same ghostly melody to it that makes it so enjoyable to begin with. Christine is another one that I think sticks out because he gives it a slight rock and roll edge while still keeping that 1980s synthesizer sound to it, and it comes out really well. He actually directed a music video for it too, which I enjoyed. I'm getting back into the directing scene a little bit. I just like where Carpenter has been going with his creative flow lately, focusing on music. His Lost Theme albums are great, and this one, especially for big fans of his movies, is a great addition to have for your CD or vinyl collection. And I'm really happy that he's channeling this creative energy of his right now, because it's kind of a sad time for the guys of his generation. He's one of only a few left. We've had the passing of George A. Romero recently, Tobe Hooper, Wes Craven is gone. There's really not much left. There's Carpenter, maybe Clive Barker, and a select few others, but he's one of the last guys now from that generation that really defines 30 or 40 years of horror movies and movies in general, really. But Carpenter always had that one-man band element to him of composing his own scores, and this one is a refreshing and much welcomed addition into the world of synth music, of movie compositions, theme music, and I think Carpenter getting back into the scoring scene with the recent update that he's scoring the new Halloween movie, I think he's a presence that has been very missed in the movie world, especially directing-wise, but most certainly on the composition side, because he has so many identifiable scores, and when you watch shows like Stranger Things or anything of that ilk, you get that instant Carpenter-inspired feeling. And I just think it's great that he comes forward and delivers this new anthology album and is branching out and getting back into mainstream film a little bit more, but I'm going to stop it there. Anthology as a whole album, I would definitely give it somewhere around an 8 out of 10. Not everything is perfect on it. Some of the updates are fantastic, some of them are decent, but I think anybody that's a fan of his music already is going to want to buy in on this, and if you're intrigued by it, at least I'd recommend it. So give it a listen, and I would recommend vinyl. Now, I love collecting CDs as well. Vinyl, I think, gives it that distinct difference, though. You don't get the bits all crushed in MP3 algorithms or anything like that. So to have a more seamless and smooth sound, I would recommend this on vinyl. It sounds great, and just sound off on your thoughts below. If you listen to it, let me know, discuss with others below in the comments section. But thanks for watching, guys, so tune in for the next video, and this was a fun little musical review, so I enjoy doing this. This was kind of a change of pace for me too. So in the meantime, take it easy, and I'll see you later.